feel like I should have more to talk about for Zeus, but like I don't have a lot, to be honest.
I think we touched down on like a lot of the major ones.
Yeah, there's just a lot.
I mean, I guess we could talk about him in God of War, but I haven't played those games.
I didn't play God of War either.
He was featured in PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
Yeah,
that motherfucker was the most broken character.
Well, he's Zeus, so that seems fair. Hello, mortals, monsters, and myth lovers alike. You're listening to Podcast of Poseidon, where we explore ancient myths and their modern retellings by reading Rick Riordan's Percy Jackson and the Olympians. This is Chapter 13, Zeus. I'm your co-host, on loan from the Hunters of Artemis, Darien and Smartt. Joining me is my co-host and brother, hailing from Cabin 3, DJ.
How's everybody doing today? If you guys don't know, Cabin 3 is Poseidon. And, well, I'm just having a good time. Poseidon's the god of the sea, and we're here to talk about who, Zeus?
Yeah, Zeus.
Awesome. And if you guys don't know, Zeus and Poseidon have quite the beef, and Zeus doesn't really like me. So I don't like him. He's kind of a dick.
Whoa, it's coming out strong. Okay, you can't just make faces. It's a non-visual medium.
Yeah? And?
Alright, what do you know about Zeus?
I know he's the king of the gods. He is the ruler of the sky and lightning and such as that. He killed his father Kronos with his own scythe.
Power move.
Absolute power move. Got all of his brothers out of his stomach. And it's really all I can think of off the top of my head. He's cheating asshole, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is the interesting thing about Zeus that we get to explore both on the podcast and, anybody who tells stories inspired by the Greek gods in general, where Zeus is, as you said, king of the gods. He is, Big Daddy Zeus. He's in charge.
Yeah.
You would think that the king, ideally, would be held up as an example of, like, how one should behave as a good person. And then when we see Zeus's behavior, we're like, this guy sucked.
Yeah. In fact, he's how not to behave as a person.
Yes, as we remind our wonderful listeners
Don't be like
every
Zeus.
episode. Don't be like Zeus. But I think this is one thing too important to understand, or just important to remember, is that the cultural norms of society and the laws and expectations of how one should behave as like a man or a ruler were very, very different for the ancient Greeks. Mm-hmm. And also, like, that ancient Greece was not just like one like specific thing. It lasted several thousand years. Like, you have the Bronze Age, the Mycenaean era, you had the Hellenistic period. Like, Greece was big and it was long and it was different every period you got to.
Yeah.
The United States, where we live, like, we're a baby. We've been around for like 200 years.
200 and almost 250, actually.
Yeah, but you can, even just in this, when we look at our own history and we see the way people were behaving in the late 1700s, the country was founding, compared to like what the cultural norms are now, like a lot of that shit wouldn't fly today.
No, absolutely not.
Another thing I would like to point out is that just because it was the way things were done doesn't mean that it was actually okay morally. We're not here to make any moral judgments. We're just here to remind you, don't be like Zeus.
Don't be like Zeus.
This is the year of our gods, 2021. Zeus's behavior, no longer acceptable.
Let's hope it goes fucking good. We're at the start of it. Can't believe it's already fucking March.
It's only March. Yeah. Our listeners will get this in April?
Probably.
Yeah, but it's still 2021. Wear your mask, continue social distancing, get vaccinated, people. We're still in a pandemic. Even I'm going to predict in April. DJ, you're signed up to get your vaccine, aren't you?
Hopefully I am. I mean, I signed up. It felt a little sketchy, that link you sent me, but I don't know.
It was posted by the center, the district center, district.
No, I totally believe you. It just felt weird,
Call your doctor. You actually can get a
I don't got health insurance. It's fine.
It doesn't matter. Like, you can get vaccinated. The government's paying for that. Call Walgreens today and be like, "Hi, I work in food processing. You can get vaccinated right now."
Yeah, I'll try.
fuck her. I can't get vaccinated until like May, so you need to go do it because I can't. This is not what the episode is about, but everybody who can get vaccinated should go get vaccinated.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But we're talking about Zeus.
Zeus. We're talking about Zeus.
There's a lot to talk about because, again, he's the king of the gods. He was
He's portrayed wildly differently in like everything he's portrayed in.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get to that. He is very active, and so there's a lot to discuss. We could pick any number of Zeus myths to take apart and analyze. I'm just going to go to the index of Edith Hamilton's mythology and just read a couple of like the sections that we can jump to. Let's see. Zeus, comma, Aegina loved by, Acephalus killed by, anger at Prometheus and mankind, birth of, brings Persephone from underworld, brother of Hestia, Castilla loved by, character of, Kronos dethroned by, Cyclops protected by, Dana visited by, displeasure of, comma, with Phineus, Europa loved by, father of Aphrodite, comma, Apollo, comma, Ares, comma, Artemis, comma, Athena, comma, Dionysus, comma, Hephaestus, comma, Hercules, comma, Hermes, comma, Muses, comma, Pollux and Helen of Troy. That one.
He's got kids.
Yeah, comma, Tantalus, Hercules punished by, hounds of, husband of Hera, infidelity of, Io loved by, Leto loved by, Lycaon punished by, Lycurgus struck by, Odysseus rescued by, Pleiades placed in heavens by, refused to award golden apple, Salamonio slain by, Selene loved by, sins fled to destroy mankind. That one sounds familiar. Sisyphus punished by, supreme ruler, Tithians made immortal by, Trojans aided by, walls of Troy built at the command of, war on Kronos, women created by. All of it. Zeus did all of it.
Fucking everything.
That's the song that Maui sings in Moana, like that, Zeus could sing that too.
Yeah.
So the question is, when we are discussing Zeus, what myth do we want to talk about and explore? Because there's a lot to dive into.
Ton.
And a lot
I guess we could start with Hercules. It's the most common one. People know it.
Let's
I guess
talk
Hercules.
Let's talk about Hercules.
It's essentially the same character. He didn't really change. I'm talking about between Hercules and Heracles, not Zeus and Zeus.
So Hercules is another kind of example of Zeus being the worst. Because Hercules, or Heracles, we're going to say Hercules because that's just convenience. There's no need to jump back and forth. We all know Heracles is the Greek name. We're talking about Greek mythology, but
And again, it's just, they're the same character, pretty much. There's really not much of a difference between his Greek and Roman counterparts.
Mm-hmm. So, Heracles, God damn it. So Hercules was the son of Zeus and the mortal woman Aclamene, who, of course, Zeus, as we know, is always going after some lady who he has no business being around.
Yeah.
For this in particular interaction, Zeus is particularly shitty because rather than roll up and gifts, or I'm Zeus, aren't I great, or like whatever the thing he usually does is, he disguises himself as this woman's husband.
Of course he does.
And and that's how she ends up pregnant with Hercules. So, again, that's rape. Yeah, she's not consenting to have sex with Zeus, so that's rape. Zeus sucks for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how we end up with Hercules. Let's see. Obviously, once Hercules is born and starts performing demigod bullshit, Hera knows something is up because, that's not normal.
Yeah.
So she makes it her personal mission to fuck with Hercules, which is, again, Zeus's fault.
Zeus did try to name Hercules to Heracles to try to appease Hera a little bit, but it didn't work.
Because it is, Heracles means the glory of Hera.
Yeah.
And
Hera, it just isn't about that.
No, not about that, Zeus. She already knows she's, glorious. She's not about that, Zeus. Way to fucking not solve your problems.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that, Hercules went on to do a lot of other stuff. He was very, very popular. That's why when you think of like Greek heroes, he's the one you think of today. Because even in the time of the Greeks, like Hercules was the guy.
Oh yeah.
But that really kind of, that was like really Zeus's role in a lot of these myths is he fathered a demigod who had to go through some bullshit.
Zeus couldn't keep in his pants, and so the hero had to pay for it.
Yeah, consistently. Now, occasionally, Zeus would hook up with a Titaness or another goddess, and that's how you end up with some of our other favorite Olympians, right? You've got Leto, who is a Titaness, who Zeus hooked up with, and that's how we get Artemis and Apollo. Sometimes, Zeus would even have sex with his own wife. And
that's how we got Hephaestus, right?
Yep, that's how we have Hephaestus and Ares.
Yeah. It's very rarely.
Very rarely.
He fucked Demeter and we got Persephone.
Yep. There's that. That's fun. Of course, he's also the father of Athena, who, so this, as we just said, he had a lot of kids.
He had a lot of kids.
And, which is wild, because when here's the story of Athena, you've got her mother was Metis, and is considered the first wife of Zeus, goddess of wisdom, prudence, and deep thought. So, Zeus gets her pregnant, and then is all paranoid. He's like, shit, like, I was born, and I overthrew my dad. My dad overthrew his dad. So what if I have a son, and they overthrow me? I'm just gonna swallow Metis whole. Just
do it.
Yep. And then sometime later, he starts having, like, a terrible headache. The fucking worst headache.
Mm-hmm.
So he split his head open with an axe. And if anybody's ever had a migraine, you definitely understand that is a very, like, feels like a very viable option when you're in the middle of a migraine. Like, honestly, this is one of the things where I'm like, yeah, I understand. I understand this one, Zeus. I'm going to give you this one. This is actually pretty reasonable. And out popped Athena, just fully grown, clad in armor. And Zeus is like, oh, thank God, not a son. I don't have to worry about anything. And we just never talk about Metis again. And then he has a bunch of sons.
Oh, there's a new goddess of wisdom in town.
Yeah, it's fine. Let's not even fucking worry about it. So, Zeus is not the best.
No, he's not.
Rather than dunk on Zeus's whole episode, let's talk about the one time that Zeus was actually pretty cool, right? The one time he actually did a good thing. It was the first thing he ever did.
Oh yeah, killing Kronos.
Killing Kronos, right.
Killing Kronos.
We've never actually covered that story on the podcast yet, though surely all of our listeners know it. We're going to talk about it anyway. You've got... Yeah. We'll talk about it from Zeus's point of view, because I think that'll be the most interesting. So Zeus is born, and immediately his mother, the Titaness Rhea, spirits him off to...
Well, this is after, like, Poseidon and Hades were born because they were
talking about... It's the Zeus episode.
I know. I'm just saying there's the reason behind Rhea shipping him off really quick.
Yes, I'm doing something. It's called non-collinear storytelling. And that's what we're doing here. I need you to support me, please. Please.
Have I ever been known to support you? Of course I have.
Don't
answer that.
I honestly was not certain how that sentence was gonna end.
Alright, so you continue.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Okay, so yeah. With Rhea's help, not with Rhea's help, with Gaia's help, Rhea spirited Zeus off and hid him somewhere. There are a couple different versions of where Rhea sent him. One claims that, because Kronos ruled over the earth, the heavens, and the sea, she hid him with a nymph who dangled Zeus, like, put him in his little Zeus basket, little baby basket, tied that basket to a rope, and just hung it from a tree suspended so he was not in earth, heaven, or the sea, so Kronos couldn't see him.
Couldn't fucking find him.
Yeah, couldn't fucking find him. Another legend says that he was raised by a goat in a cave. and, you know, a company of soldiers would shout and dance and, like, clash their spears around the cave so Kronos could never hear the babies cry. But whatever the case, Zeus actually got to grow up, and as he was getting older, whoever was a goat or a nymph, whomever raised him, would tell him stories about, like, his father Kronos and what Kronos had done to Zeus's many siblings, because Zeus was the youngest. He actually had 5 older brothers and sisters, all of whom had been swallowed by Kronos. Sometimes it's only, like, Hades and Poseidon who got swallowed, and sometimes it's also, like, Hera, Hestia, and Demeter who got swallowed. I think it makes more sense when everybody gets swallowed.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels like if like Kronos was paranoid, like, oh, my child will overthrow me, he's not going to take any chances. Everybody's getting swallowed.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So when Zeus grows up, he decides, okay, I'm going to go take care of the problem. So he rolls up to Kronos.
It takes care of the problem.
And he goes and takes care of the problem. Yes. He rolls up to Kronos' court, and he pretends to be, like, a sommelier, basically, and gets his job pouring Kronos' wine or whatever the fuck this Titan bastard likes to drink, and slips him some poison that makes Kronos so sick that he throws up all of the godly siblings who, because they're, like, divine and immortal, just grew up in like, the Titan's stomach. So trauma.
It just kind of... So I guess, technically speaking, Metis is still inside Zeus.
Yeah. No, probably. Yes. Yeah, and that's upsetting, but we've never no one ever circled back to that in Greek mythology. I wonder why. Yeah, so obviously, now Kronos is pissed, because there's a prophecy saying that, like, one of his children would overthrow him. Well, now all of his children are there, and he's like, fuck, I have to kill everybody. And Zeus is like, I don't think so. I've actually lived here on Earth my whole life, and I actually really like it, so I'm not gonna let you do that. And my siblings aren't gonna let you do that. I'm gonna team up with a bunch of other, like, Titans and, like, other these characters who hate you, and they're not gonna let you do that, and we're gonna go to war. So this great big war.
Snagged a scythe and lobbed him to pieces.
Yep. In the last battle, Zeus cuts him to pieces and throws the parts down into the shadowy Tartarus, and then divides the earth up with his older brothers, or I guess all of the universe up with his older brothers. And Zeus, king of the gods, is also king of, like, the sky and the air. And that's the one cool thing that Zeus ever did.
Yeah, pretty much.
All went down here from there. But I guess if you come onto the scene and your big opening act is to, like, rescue all of your siblings and, like, save the whole world from a tyrant and, like, become the new king. Yeah, there's no really
following that up.
Yeah, there's really, like, so, like, why try? No one, everyone's gonna be like, oh, yeah, I mean, making platypuses was really cool, but it's not like the time you defeated Kronos, so it's like everyone's gonna compare you to, like, you know, that first album you released. Like, fucking why bother? Let's just do weird spoken art poetry from now on. Or in Zeus's case, just be the worst.
Yeah, pretty much.
No.
That's not to say he's bad in all of his representation.
No, this is fun. So a lot of the times when we do see Zeus in various pop culture things, he actually gets to be cool. He comes off as being, like, they really hone in on the king of the gods, like, godly father type aspect, and then make him cool guy Zeus.
Yeah.
So, DJ, I would like to give you the floor.
Yeah, the main one we see that in is the reason I brought up Hercules, is just, like, starting there, is the Disney movie Hercules. We see Zeus in that one, and Zeus's cool guy dad just constantly hanging out and just, like, cheering on his son. Didn't cheat on Hera to have Hercules. In fact, Hercules was Hera's son. Yep. And was heartbroken when Hercules was kidnapped, you know?
Just had his power stripped away. So sad. Yet, your Big Daddy Zeus does not go investigate how that shit happened.
Well, he's on Earth now. It's not really his domain.
I guess, but, like, they found him eventually, and they realized he doesn't have his... Yeah, but he's like, oh, we found my son. He doesn't have any god power, so we can't bring him back to Mount Olympus. That's so sad. But, like, he doesn't put, like, Athena on, like, a detective shit to be like, hey, go find out how this happened. Because they had 18 years to figure out what the fuck went down.
Yeah, no,
Never finds that out.
But, I mean, yeah, it's a Disney movie.
It's a Disney. We don't have time for that.
Don't got time for have some subplot of Athena just going around doing investigatory stuff. It's one of the early Disney movies, all right? It's an hour and a half.
It's from 1995. What do you mean early Disney movie?
Okay, fine. Golden age of Disney movies.
It
was part of the Renaissance.
It's like at the end of the Disney Renaissance.
Yeah. But it's still, like, it's an hour and a half long. We got time to look at Hercules and Hercules alone.
It's tight, and you're going to focus
have
on this story.
Very, like, a romantic subplot in there, you know?
Yeah, sprinkle that in for good measure.
Yeah, pretty much.
Man, I wish Zeus had a song in that.
I know, I think they could.
I wish Hades had a song in that.
I wish just, like, more people. I wish there was just more songs in that. They were all stellar.
They're all great. And, like, the Muses have songs about Zeus, and it's great. And they have a song about Hades, and it's great. But I, like, want them to jam.
Yeah. It'd be fun. We see that. And then another thing that we see Zeus being, like, a cool dude in is the game Hades. Mm-hmm. Another game I highly recommend. And he is the kind of guy that'll just bail you out of jail, no questions asked. He is offering his powers, which fucking we never see him doing anything, offering his powers to Zagreus to help him get the fuck out of there, which is really cool. And then, like, he's got a cool voice actor. I don't know who does it, but he's sick. And he's just like, he's just hanging out and just like, hey, Zagreus, we got a feast waiting for you when you come up here. You fucking hurry your ass up, you know? It is super cool. Just a lot of fun.
Peter Cannavasi? I don't know.
Shout out to Peter Cannavasi, if that's how you pronounce your name.
I'm not sure how, but
did a great job voicing Zeus in Hades. I bet you've done some great work, too.
Oh, I'm sure.
But, yeah, and then, like, we see Zeus and Smite, obviously, though I think he's just there to prove his power of king of gods. So, you know, showboaty, typical Zeus stuff. Official Smite. Yep, king of the gods, Zeus strives for fairness and justice, but will not hesitate to call down the thunder when there is smiting to be done. Zeus's father, the Titan Cronus, immediately swallowed. Okay, we know that. His two brothers, Hades, and Yet Zeus is a restless god, and while he holds high expectations for others, he does not keep the standards for himself. Chiefly, Zeus is nearly infamous for several infidelities to his wife, which have resulted in dozens of children beget by other women. Most famously are Hercules, Artemis, and Athena. Such wanton unfaithfulness is the source of great jealousy. Weather is dictated by the thunder god's mood. When in fair temperament, the sky is clear, bright, and warm, anger flares. So it doesn't say that he's got a reason for being down on, like, the battleground, which is a little unfortunate.
Yeah, you just give him, like, really cool stories to be down there. Like, Medusa's is great.
Yeah, Medusa's is wonderful. I mean, the main thing I would say is just to prove that he is the king of gods. That just seems like a very Zeus thing to do. Yeah. Right? Like, fuck, man. He's busted. He's so annoying to deal with.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I think another place where we see Zeus being like, cool guy Zeus, even though we don't actually see him, is in, like, the 2017 Wonder Woman movie.
Well, I believe it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's great. But, we talked about it in the Ares episode, but in the movie, it's like Zeus is the father of Diana. Not Artemis. Well, yes, but Wonder Woman. He
nice.
hooked up with Hippolyta. And oh my god, is it Hippolyta? I have to make sure.
I don't know, you tell me.
I'm gonna double check, because if it's not Hippolyta, Skylar's gonna call me. Okay, yes. Okay. I was concerned for a second.
We had a whole episode on this, Darien.
And I was worried for a second that Hippolyta was like the aunt. She's queen of the Amazons. I'm right. It's fine. Anyway, so according to, like, movie lore, he hooked up with Hippolyta and was the father of Wonder Woman, and, like, protected, like, sacrificed himself to, like, protect the Amazons from Ares, who's going to destroy them, and hid their world away, and, like, all that stuff. And, like, his powers were depleted, and he was destroying this final battle against Ares, which is all well and good, but, like, Zeus? That guy?
Zeus did that? Are you sure?
Are you sure? I'm honestly not convinced.
Well, I mean, we really see Thor's not that very regal as he is in the Marvel stuff. He's kind of a dick.
Yeah. So it's like so that's interesting. Why do you think that we often see Zeus as portrayed as just way more cool and chill than he ever was in Greek mythology?
Because we want to see we want to believe that people in power are good and morally right. And so you get the one thing that's like, oh yeah, big fucking, just like the guy, you know, the king of like everyone. We want to like believe that he's like righteous and morally there, and we don't want to see him going around and cheating on his wife constantly. That's probably why it is.
Serial rapist.
And also, a lot of times he might be based off of like the Christianity God, and so
that's,
and a lot of people really do like to see that God as like fair and just and righteous. So
that's a really good point. I mean, yeah, I think you're totally on point. I think that's much like why we see Hades as being the worst and like way more vile and evil and corrupt and like making deals with people and like out to harm humanity, because largely a lot of these Western retellings we've seen have been done by folks who are of a Christian faith or highly influenced by it.
Yes.
And so if Hades is in the underworld is stand-in for like Satan and hell, of course Zeus, king of the gods, why would he not be like the, you know, the Judeo-Christian god and like this great divine loving being who's like this, like, you know, powerful and fairness and stuff. Like, you can't show your leader running around being terrible. Like, wow, someone's gonna say that you're saying that God is like that.
Yeah.
But Zeus is pretty terrible.
Zeus is pretty bad.
In Once Upon a Time, the ABC Disney fairy tale soap opera, Zeus does make an appearance because, you know, they're gonna dabble in Disney stuff. Hades was the big bad in that arc. It was season 5, so it was rough. He appears one time, very much obviously following the framework of the Disney Hercules. You know, Hades has been there and he's like the bad guy, runs the underworld trying to make deals. And then when Zeus shows up, it's to get his lightning bolt back and praise the heroes for their job well done. And also he looks like he's maybe 22. Like, yeah. I bring this up because this is the most baffling portrayal of Zeus that I've ever seen. Like, look, yeah, I can hear you typing. Look that bad boy up. Once Upon a Time.
Oh
Zeus,
my god!
Because, yeah,
what the fuck?
What the fuck? Just a super young guy, toga, blonde, fair skin, beard. No, totally clean shaven. Like,
this is
getting
really
like,
weird.
They're very Jesus vibes. We're not going for God vibes here. So yeah. I don't know why they made him so young. I don't know. It was weird. They also say that Zeus is Hades' big brother, who always got everything he ever wanted. And that's, we can retell stories or whatever. And I bet there's an argument on whether or not Zeus is the big brother, the little brother, with the whole getting swallowed by Kronos thing. But if the gods kept aging in the stomach, then Hades is still the oldest.
Yeah, Hades is still the elder brother.
So,
and like most everything we see, they do reference the fact that Hades is the oldest. Except that one, which is weird.
Yeah, that was something from Once Upon a Time, which was very weird. But yeah, that's just why I want to bring it up, because usually when we see a Zeus, even if his character is going to be like weird or different, also in Once Upon a Time he was played by David Hoffman, just want to shout him out. He did a fine job. Like, no gripes against Mr. Hoffman. Like, his performance was as expected of what he was doing.
Yeah.
But like, you get like, older guy, very strong, muscular, built like a rectangle.
Fucking beard, dude.
Beard, old. I am the Judeo-Christian concept of like patriarchy and like fatherly masculine. And I got this guy who definitely looks like he's on like the upper end of a boy band that's going out of style.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I just want to shout that one out because it's something I've been holding on to since I watched that episode. Like, just
that's a
forever.
Weird.
Why did you do
portrayal?
Why? Who made this decision? Like, yeah, the Hades actor didn't look like Hades in Once Upon a Time. He didn't super look like Hades in the Disney Hercules movie, but sometimes they would show him with the blue fire hair. Not always look bad, but like they went, so they knew what they were pulling from. So like, who's this guy? Why did we do this?
I'm pretty sure, like, in the Disney Hercules, when Hades was being a big old grumpy bug, he's like, oh, elder brother, cheer up some.
Yeah, so why did we even do this in the... Season 5 Once Upon a Time was, like, really rough, and I actually don't want to talk about it anymore. So I want to talk about DuckTales.
Okay, let's move
now.
on. DuckTales.
Yeah, woohoo! So DuckTales, I think, is the perhaps best, or best is subjective, perhaps the most accurate to Greek mythology version of Zeus you will see. Because he straight up sucks.
I believe it.
He's the fucking worst. No joke. Wow, this guy's the worst. I also love that he is just straight up Zeus. There's not like a bird pun for him, like Storcules, who is best boy. We will talk about Storcules.
Nice.
But yeah, Zeus, he's like, I am so great. I am all powerful. I am Zeus of the gods. And he hates Scrooge McDuck because Scrooge has like bested him in different like competitions. Yeah, right. So he's petty as fuck. And so he did when like
has.
Yeah, so when like the Duck family shows up on Ithaquack. Yeah, it's all duck puns. It's DuckTales. Oh, I'm talking about the 2017 reboot of DuckTales. Like for the record, it's very important. I don't know if the Greek mythology ducks showed up in the original stuff. Probably in the run of comics. They were pulling off a lot of stuff. Like maybe. I don't know. I'm talking specifically about the reboot, which is gold, and everyone should go watch it because it's actually one of the best things I've ever watched on television. It's so fucking well written. It's so funny.
Nice.
Anyway, so he shows up. I think that the thing that really captures the essence of Zeus is not only is he like a dick, but also when he like, I challenge you, Scrooge McDuck, to like the championship. Like we'll see who's best once and for all, and then makes his kids go do it. Zeus himself is not fucking competing. He's making his son's story. He's making like Storcules, who again is best boy, like have to go up against Donald Duck, who is Storcules' self-proclaimed best friend, and like the triplets who are fucking children. Like Zeus is the worst, and DuckTales is like so much like, yeah, this is who Zeus is. Like we're not fucking around here. Like this is Zeus.
That's pretty funny. That is pretty great.
So I was thinking we could play a game with Zeus similar to what we did for the Greek gods, like put them different versions of Zeus up together to fulfill some sort of like weird challenge. And I was thinking the challenge could be like Zeus has to go to your parent-teacher conference. Which version do you want? But I think the answer is going to be just Hercules Zeus, like Disney Hercules Zeus.
Yeah, Hercules Zeus, because he's just the loving dad of all the Zeuses. Like out of everyone, he's just like, yeah, I'm the father. I'm like the best dad.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on what they're going in for. Is it just standard, like everybody's got to come in for the parent-teacher
When you say parent-teacher conference, I think of just like a parent-teacher conference. It's like, hey, everybody, mark your calendars. Thursday's a parent-teacher conference.
Because if it's like maybe you're having a problem with a teacher who for some reason has beef with you, even though you're 14 years old, and you're just trying to get through your fucking drama class, but for some reason this teacher apparently hates you and refuses to cast you in anything, even though you are very good at, like, for a child, you're pretty good, you learn your lines really well, you work really hard. Beforehand, the last teacher was, like, always being like, yeah, giving you the opportunity to just shine, and this teacher's not. You're like, what the fuck? Like, maybe what version of Zeus you want to show up in is the one who's going to be like, why are you being mean to my fucking kid? And, like, call them out and that stuff. And I don't know if Hercules Zeus is going to do that.
I can't relate. I had a pretty great theater teacher.
Fuck off.
If it's that thing, if I'm having beef with a teacher, then I honestly do want the Hades Zeus to come in and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because again, he's just a bro.
He's
Zeus is genuine. Yeah, dude is a bro, and as I said, he's the type of guy that'll bail you out of jail, no questions asked. I want that person talking to my fucking teacher that's being mean to me.
It's like, well, because what you need is the teacher to stop being mean to you, but also not retaliate against the fact that your parent came down and raised some hell.
Raised hell. Yeah.
Raised some Hades. Like,
no one's gonna retaliate against any of the Zeuses.
That's fair. Yeah, because I think other versions, if you have like OG Greek mythology Zeus, their car just gets struck by lightning on the way home, and now you have a new teacher. Or honestly, you go to school in Idaho, they're not gonna spend the money to hire a new theater teacher in the middle of the year, so you just don't have theater anymore. Yeah. Now you get to go take French, but oops, the French teacher quit on the first day. They never got another one. Guess you're in Spanish again.
I had a physics teacher. That guy quit, and then we just didn't have a physics class anymore.
Yes, that's fucking Middleton! I just we don't have this class anymore. I don't know what to tell you. We fund our public schools based off of taxpayer
sports.
fucking property taxes, which is a terrible way to fund schools. But okay.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. The arts get shafted when the sports get everything.
Honestly, if you're lucky to have sports, a lot of schools can't even afford that.
Yeah, true.
I don't think it should be sports or arts. I think it should be both. We should value this enough to give kids an outlet to be able to express themselves and find their joy beyond textbooks. It is what it is. So, yeah, I think... I mean, you also have the problem with, like, Zeus rolls up to, like, deal with your teacher.
Fuck your teacher.
And then he hooks up with your teacher, and, like, 9 months later, you've got a little half-sibling.
Yeah.
And that's not solving the problem, where your teacher's still probably pissed, because you know Zeus isn't paying child support.
Oh, absolutely not.
So his teacher's still pissed at you.
Yeah.
And now Hera's getting involved.
Yeah. Hera's already involved. Let's be real here. She's already involved.
Yeah, you don't want Hera involved. I guess the point... Okay, well, I guess if Hera isn't trying to kill you, then you have to assume you're also Hera's kid, and Hera is the one who's going to come down and, like, deal with the teacher.
Oh, yeah.
And Hera's going to raise all kinds of Hades. Like, doesn't matter what the situation is. She's going to come down at the slightest problem. Why did my kid get a C on this paper? Are you fucking kidding? My kid's a goddamn genius, and you're lucky to have them. I need to talk to your boss. I need to talk to the vice principal immediately.
The reason that Hera's got beef with you is, or the teacher's got beef with you is because Hera's your teacher.
Oh, no!
Zeus is like, yeah,
I can't, sorry.
Man. Ask your mortal parent. I can't do anything for you.
Yeah, it's like, hey, Dad, how are you? Yeah. I was like, you going to school? Yeah, my English teacher's been really, really difficult. They are grading me harshly on everything, even like opinion pieces. You know, I got really good grades in my last English class. I'm a pretty good writer for like a sophomore. I don't understand why this teacher's like being so hard on me. And what was your teacher's name? Miss Juno?
That's
sorry,
one of her aliases. That's one of her aliases, dog. She's trying to trick me. She's trying to get me, you know? Gotta be on my toes.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't need to get that scholarship anyway. Oh, you gonna help me pay for school? I never said that.
Talk to the principal, see if you could transfer. Oh, you already did?
Like, Dad, this is the advanced class. Like, I worked really hard to get in it. It sounds like you just, is that quitter attitude I'm hearing? That's not the kid I raised. You didn't really
see if you can work it out yourself, kiddo.
Every version of Zeus. Even the Disney version of Zeus. Like, Hercules rolling up and be like, how do I be a hero? I want to go on Mount Olympus with you.
You gotta figure that out, dog.
Figure it out, kiddo. I don't know.
Figure it out, stone. I don't know, man. Just fuck around and find out.
Yeah. Rolls up and like, hey, Dad, I'm a hero now. I battled all these monsters. I did all the labors. I got an action figure. People love me. I'm a hero. That's not what being a hero is. How would I even know, Father? What are my examples? Who do I have to look to?
I'm the fucking first one. Like,
apparently.
Jesus.
No, it's actually Zeus.
True.
So I think what we've learned here is that we don't want Zeus coming down to our school, period.
Yeah.
It's just better. It's better to not.
Essentially. Unless you got Disney Zeus.
Yeah, but even I'm not sure he wouldn't be willing to go down to the school to help you with the problem. You have to figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
Like, Dad, I'm 14 and she's mad because you wouldn't approve her for a car. Like, I can't do anything about that.
That happened to you? Holy shit, what teacher was that?
Take a wild fucking guess.
Was it your theater teacher?
Yes.
Holy shit, that's fucked.
Yeah, I didn't know about it till
That's
forever.
insane.
But yeah, she wouldn't cast me anything. I worked really hard and over and over again. It wasn't even like, oh, well, this person's gonna get the main role and this one and this one's gonna. Cause it's not like any of us were spectacular great. We were high schoolers. But I worked hard. I knew my lines. I did good, and I never got anything.
Yeah.
Until Dad finally went down to the school and was like, hey, I wouldn't approve you for a car loan because you have shitty credit. Stop being mean to my daughter. And suddenly I got cast in the
Your
role
credit's fucking 300. What do you want me to do about it?
I didn't know about this until after I graduated. I had no idea that this is happening, but I do remember distinctly, all of a sudden, guess who got the roles I had auditioned for? And I did great.
Ridiculous.
The teacher literally said that, the scene she finally cast me in the role I wanted, the scene I was in with my scene partner, of that whole play was oh yeah, this was one of my favorites. You guys did such a good job. Yeah, bitch! I'm good at this.
Can't fucking. That is hilarious. I can't fucking believe that. Holy shit. Wow.
So, yeah.
Holy shit. That is. Man, that's funny.
Yeah, glad Dad helped him with that. Because if it had been Zeus, he would have just blown up her car. I'm sure.
That is funny.
Glad you think so.
Holy cow.
DJ, do you have any final thoughts about Zeus?
I don't.
I don't either. There's so much to talk about in regards to Zeus, but I think in just the terms of like our podcast, I like discussing why there are so many versions of Zeus cool. I think you nailed it on the head, is that we really want to believe our leaders are better than they are.
When they're just not.
Important to realize that they usually aren't, so people have to be constantly vigilant, even with the leaders who you support, because they're probably going to do something shady, because that's what power does to you. Because again, hey, Zeus, really cool guy before he became king of the gods.
Absolute instantly power corrupts, absolutely.
Yep.
Every time. There's
not
a lot of instances where it's like, oh, I was a cool guy then, and I'm still a cool guy now.
No, you'll always think you're a cool guy. I think Zeus thinks... We didn't talk about Lore Olympus Zeus. And I think Lore Olympus... We don't talk about Lore Olympus a lot on this podcast because there's so much to get into.
Yeah, we're going to cover it in a remyth episode.
Oh, yeah. But we talk about Hercules a lot. That's going to get a remyth episode.
True. But I actually really do like Lore Olympus Zeus. Sure, he's kind of a dick, but he's... I don't know, relatable in a lot of aspects of his character.
There's nuance
which is just how Lore Olympus does a lot of their things, which is like really fucking cool. The writer and artist, like they're both fucking great. I don't know if it's the same person or not, but
I'm pretty sure it's the same person. I think they have like.
Well, she's doing fucking wonderful,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Well, I think she was very well Zeus in showing that kind of like, absolute power corrupts, because like you see that like Zeus clearly thinks of himself as a likable person. He wants to be like the way he behaves with the other people, with his brothers and everyone. He wants people to have a good time around him and be fun, and it's all this.
Yeah.
But he also like does shitty things, like cheats on Hera constantly, and like he knows that hurts her. And I think we've seen like he knows like I don't fucking like that I do that, but I'm gonna keep doing it because I can. And it's so fucking easy, and then I can just bully people into helping me cover it up. Like we see with the way he treats Demeter when she refuses to like hide that one nymph for him. She's like, I can't keep fucking doing this to Hera, like I won't be a part of this, and he comes and like ravages her fields, and she can't do anything about it. So I think that's the kind of absolute power, because we've seen a lot in the thing. He's gonna if Zeus feels like he's been wronged, he's gonna take it. Like I think like you mentioned earlier, like Zeus holds everybody else to much higher standards than he holds himself. Like he will give himself a lot of grace because he has the power and authority to do so. Likewise, he has the power and authority to punish anybody he thinks has been like is against him or is not supporting him.
Yeah.
And that's what like those kind of personalities in power do. Where it's maybe you're not a bad person at heart, but like if you're given power that lets you do whatever you want, like that's who you really are, and you gotta like address that shit.
It's pretty rough.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that was our Zeus episode.
That was our Zeus episode, everybody.
Yeah, thank you all for tuning in, for checking out. We love having you. We love doing the show. Thank you again to all of our patrons.
Thank you so much. That's absolutely incredible. Well, thank you guys, and have a wonderful day.
Yeah, if you like this episode, let us know by leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts.
Heck yeah, it'll help us out a lot.
It will, yeah, it honestly will. It's all about the algorithm and the ranking. Woohoo. If you don't have an iTunes account, if you're not listening on Apple Podcasts and your podcatcher doesn't do reviews, you can help us just by sharing this episode with...
Heck yeah.
Just anybody. Just someone who also likes mythology.
Share it with the father figure in your life. See if they can relate.
just let him, let your father figure know, hey, you're not like Zeus. I love you for it. If that's applicable to your life. I know it's not applicable for everyone's life. And if that's the case, Davis is your father now.
Yeah, if you got a dad friend, share it with them. Come on.
Yeah, share it with your dad friend.
Everyone's got a dad friend.
What's the difference between a dad friend and a mom friend?
Mom friend is a lot more caring. Dad friend is like because I mean...
Rub some dirt in it.
Rub some dirt in it is the cool parent.
Okay. Sure. Well, thank you all so much for listening. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
All right. You guys have a great one. And don't be like Zeus.
Don't be like Zeus. Oh, wait, hold on.
You didn't say it. You didn't say it.
No. Yeah, okay, fair. Bye.
Bye.
Podcast of Poseidon is created, produced, and hosted by Darien and DJ Smartt. It's edited by Darien Smartt.
Our music is Athens Festival by Martin Hain. And our cover art is by Audrey Miller. You can find her on Instagram at bombshellnutshellart.
Like the show? Ready for more? Support Podcast of Poseidon on Patreon. Just $1 gets you exclusive bonus content. Find out more at patreon.com/podcastofposeidon.
Come hang out with us on Twitter or Instagram at Podcast of Poseidon. You can also find all of our episodes and episode transcripts at podcastofposeidon.com.
Thanks for listening.